In this video, I am going to show you 10 Microsoft Excel tips for beginners because few of my subscribers asked me to make some Excel tutorials. Although I have previously made few, but now I have realized that there is a need for Microsoft Excel training, and this video is first of a series of videos which I will be making for beginners and intermediate users. These videos will help any beginner to get started with Microsoft Excel fast. I have written a brief description of these 10 Excel tips on the screen which you can see. I have also written a timestamp in the description of this video. If you are interested only in a particular tip, you can click on that time and you will land straight on that particular part of the video. So let's get started. No, I'm not going to talk about how to open or save a file because I am sure that every beginner knows this. So we are starting from more useful tips for beginners for everyday tasks. Let us say I want to insert a blank row above this row, which is row number A9. So I select this row, I right click and I click insert. A blank row will be inserted above this. Now what if I want to insert two rows? To do that, now there are many ways, so let's undo this. Now I want to insert two rows. So one way is I select these two, right click and insert. Two blank rows will be inserted. Not a good method, but this is still a method. Let's undo again, and this time I want to insert a row using a shortcut key which is Alt I R, which is a combination of three keys. So you have to press three keys at the same time. If I put my cursor anywhere on the row where I want to insert a row above, and then I press Alt I and R, a new row will be inserted. Now I want to insert two rows. So there is a repeat key in Excel which does whatever you have done in the previous action, and that key is F4 key. So now if I press F4, another row will be inserted because my previous action was inserting a row, and I can insert these F4 key as many times as I want. So this is, I think, the best method, but most people use the first method, that you select as many rows as you want to insert, then you right click and click insert, but you have to count the number of rows. So Alt IR and then using F4 key is, I think, the easiest way. Now it's up to you. So I just remove these. Similar method works for columns as well, but instead of Alt IR, you have to press Alt IC. So I select this column, I press Alt IC and a column will be inserted, and then I can press F4 in the similar way to insert more columns, and Ctrl Z to undo all this. Now the second tip is how to select all of your sheet. And you might be wondering, why would you want to select all of your sheet? Now there are some situations. For example, I have imported this Excel sheet from Google Sheets. I exported from Google into Excel format and I opened this in Excel application, and this has some formatting, and this formatting is going across all the worksheet. As you can see that this formatting is going across all the worksheet. And in order to clear the formatting, I can select this workbook and I can clear. For example, if I select only this part and I can click on clear and clear formats, so it will remove the formatting from this part. But this formatting is also going along all the sheet. So in this situation, I have to select the complete sheet, and it's very easy. You simply have to press Ctrl A. It's a shortcut key. Control All. So you have to press Ctrl and A keys together, and now I can click on clear and clear formats, and now as you can see that all the formatting is gone. Now the next tip is about sum formula, and this is the most common formula you will be using when you start using Excel. So let us assume that this is the commission earned on this column, and I want to know how much total commission someone has earned. So I want to get a sum in this cell. So in cell H24, I want to get the sum of all the entries from H3 to H23. To do that, I place my cursor here, and at the top I type equal sign, equal means formula is starting, and then I use sum, and then I start the parenthesis, and then I click on the first cell and drag up to the last cell, and I release my cursor and I close the parenthesis here. And if you look at the formula says is equal to sum h2 colon h23. You can also type this as well, but this is another easy way to insert the formula. And now I simply press enter and sum of this column will be placed here. Now let us see how this sum works in a row. So let us assume that I want to add the marks of these students, the marks obtained, in another column. Let's say call it T marks or total marks, and I want to get the sum of these 3 marks. So I start the formula and start the parenthesis, and I now click on this first cell and drag it to the third cell. I close the parenthesis and I press enter. And because this is a table, so all these will automatically be filled with the total marks, because this formula will be applied to all the column. And if you click on this autocorrect options, you can stop this by clicking on this stop, and now it will not be applied. And you can do this again by clicking on this redo calculated column. So in this way you can apply this sum formula in a row. Now our next tip is how to increment date properly in Excel. And this is my first date in this cell. To increment this, I hover over the lower right corner until I see this plus sign. I click and drag, and the date is incremented, but only the year is getting incremented, not the day. And in Australia we write day, month and year. So I want day to be incremented. This is a common issue with Excel users, and what we do is we normally select this column, we right click, and we want to check the format of this cell, and normally we check this date and we check that it is in day, month, year order, and we click OK. But this does not fix the problem. To fix this issue, we select this column and we click on data tab and then text to column, and you will see this step 1 of 3. You want to go to step number 3, so click next and next again until you reach on this, and in this you want to select date here, and in this format I want to select day, month and year, and then I click finish. And now I select my first date again, and once again I increment this, and this time it will be correctly incremented. So this is how you correctly increment date in Excel spreadsheet. So this was our tip number 4, and our tip number 5 is about formatting cells, merging different columns and rows. So this is my data, and I want to merge few cells to achieve the result shown in this PDF. And if you have this PDF before you want to collect the data, then it is a good practice to plan the way you want to collect data in Excel spreadsheet. And I have done this here, and if we look at the PDF, we can see that 4 rows are being merged here after this title. So I keep 3 rows blank, and in a similar fashion you can plan your rest of the data cells. But how to merge these? To merge these cells, let us first start from the left. If I want to merge these 4 rows, I select these 4 rows, and now I can right click and select format cells. This is the quickest way. Or if you have this cells tab open, you can click on this format, and at the end you will see format cells. And we want to format the border of these cells. So we click on border, and these are various options we have. So if you click here, you will start adding some rows and some diagonals in this. So I want to clear this first. So I click on none, and then I click on outline. An outline will appear here, and now to center this text I click on alignment, and now I center this text horizontally and vertically, center in both direction. And the final thing is I want to merge these 4 cells. So I click on this merge cells and I click OK. Now the cells are merged and the text is in the center. Now I look at my PDF once again and I repeat the same thing for the next 4 cells. I right click, format cells, border, first none, then outline, in the alignment, center, merge cell, OK. Now I want to merge these columns in one cell. So I right click, format cells, border, none, outline, alignment, merge cell, center, center, OK. Now these 4 are similar to this. So what I can do is I select this, I click on this format painter, a brush, click on that, and then I select these cells. Same formatting will be applied to these columns. So they will be merged to a single cell. And now these 3 words are, so they are not written correctly because I should be putting this in an alternate cell. So what I can do is I can select these 2, Control X cut, put in this cell, the third cell, Control V. And now I select this one, Control X, and now I can put in the next one, Control V. So in this way I arrange this text, and now I can merge these 2. And now I select these 2, right click, format cells, border, none, outline, in alignment, center, merge cell, OK. Then I click on this brush and I select these 2 cells, then click on brush again and select these 2 cells. Now on the left hand side, if I look at the PDF, I have to combine these 2. So I select these 2 and release. Then I press Ctrl, select these 2 and release. Then I press Ctrl again and select these 2. Now these 3 are selected as separate entities. Now I right click, format cells, border, none, outline, alignment, center, merge cells, OK. And these 3 will be separately get the same formatting. Now if we look at the PDF, the next are all single cell borders. So we can select these, then I release, I press Ctrl and select these, and then I release. Now these 2 are separate entities, but all these cells will get the same formatting style. So now we right click, format cells, border, none, outline, but outline means that there will be only 2 rectangles, one around these selected cells and the other around these selected cells. This is not what we want. We want all those cells to have lines in between because they are single cells. To do that, first you select outline and then you select this inside, and you will see that now it will show you 4 different cells. This is correct. Then you can select the alignment in the similar manner, and no need to select the merge cells because we want these cells to be separate, and I click OK. And now I want my title to be one title across all these columns. So this is the last thing we want to do. Select all these cells, right click, format cells, and we can select the alignment first, check the merge cell, and in the border we want only the outline, click OK. And if you want to change the size of this, because the title should be a little larger, you can select the font size from here as well. You can make it bold as well. So this is how you format cells and tables in Excel. Now the next tip is about adding and renaming sheets. At the bottom of your spreadsheet, you have this plus sign. If you click on that, a new sheet will be added. You can right click on this and you can rename this. For example, report or something. So this is how you can add sheets to your spreadsheet in Excel and rename them. Now the next tip is about using colors. So let's say I want to use a background color for the title. So let me zoom this a little bit, and to zoom you press Ctrl and move your mouse wheel to zoom in Excel sheet. To select a background color for this cell, so there are 2 icons here. One is A for text and this fill color icon is for filling colors. So I click on that and I can fill this, for example, with yellow color. And if you want to change the color of the text, you select the text and then you select the color which you want. For example, let's say red. So this is how you change background color or color of the text. Our next tip is how to use XLOOKUP function. And XLOOKUP function is used to extract data against any particular entry. For example, this is a spreadsheet having grades of 10 students and I want to extract math marks for Daryl and I want to write in another cell. So let's say I want Daryl math score just underneath this cell. So how to extract math score of Daryl from this data? To do that we use XLOOKUP. So I type is equal to, means starting a formula, and then I write XLOOKUP and then I start the parenthesis, and it needs 3 arguments: lookup value, lookup array and return array. So lookup value is Daryl. So I first select Daryl and it will put the cell number of Daryl here. Then I put comma, and lookup array is the column in which Daryl exists or the row in which Daryl exists. So Daryl exists between these 10 students. So I select this, then I put a comma and I want to return math marks in front of Daryl. So I have to give the column. So once I have selected lookup array as a column, now I have to select this math column in which math marks are written for all students. And now I close the parenthesis. Now I am asking Excel to look in this column until you find Daryl. Then you look in this return column until you find whatever is written in front of Daryl and return that value. So now if I press enter, it will return me the value written in the return array in front of the lookup value, which are the math marks of Daryl. Though this was the best way of XLOOKUP in this situation, but I want to demonstrate how you can use XLOOKUP in horizontal direction as well, and therefore this replaces VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP functions in Excel. For example, this Daryl has a lot of subjects. In that case, you might want to use this in horizontal direction. So let me copy this and I start this XLOOKUP again, and now I select this math to look up for, comma, and this is my lookup array, comma, and now my return array would be the row in which Daryl exists, all the subject marks of Daryl. I close this, I press enter, and it will return me the same value. So you can use XLOOKUP both in horizontal and vertical direction. Therefore this function replaces the older VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP functions in Excel. So now after 2019 you can use this single XLOOKUP function for both purposes. Now our next tip is how to use recommended pivot tables. This is a new feature in Excel, and you can quickly create pivot tables by using recommended pivot tables. So this is the sales data of a hypothetical company. So I select this data and then I click on insert, and these are recommended pivot tables. If I click on that, it will show me some recommendations. So pivot tables are used to present data in a quick manner. So as you can see that now it is showing me few pivot tables. The first one is states and then sum of unit prices, which does not make any sense. The next one is states and sum of total sales. This does make sense. And there are some other suggestions as well. Some will make sense, some will not. You can modify them. And now I click on OK. So it will create a new sheet and it will insert that pivot table. So you can see a summary of some of your data. And on the right hand side, you have the option to modify your pivot table. But if you only want to show your total sales in all of your states, this pivot table will work for you. So this is a quick way to get some summary of your data values by using recommended pivot tables in Excel. And now our last tip is how to password protect an Excel spreadsheet. To do that, you click on File, Info, and then Protect Workbook, and then encrypt with password. And now make sure that you save this password, otherwise you won't be able to open this workbook. So I give it a password and press OK. It will ask me to put it again. OK. And now I will see this, that a password is required to open this document. So this is the name of the document. So I close this now and then I will reopen and I save it. And now I open this. This is the document. I open it and it will show me to enter the password. So let us enter a wrong password, press OK, and it will show me that the password is incorrect. And as you can see that it has also removed the dialog box asking for password. And now I click again and I open this file once again, and this time I put the correct password and click OK, and it will open the file. So this is how you can password protect Excel sheets, and this is it for today's video. I am sure that these 10 tips will get you started if you are a beginner in Excel. And if you like this video, please share with your colleagues and friends. This will help this video to reach more audience and help me to grow my channel. So I would highly appreciate if you share this video with your colleagues, because normally these type of videos take a lot of time to prepare, and it is good that if they reach more audience. Thanks for watching this video and see you next time.